Hi guys, it's Miss Heidi. I'm so glad you came to join me today for another circle time with my puppy Zoe. There's a really awesome book that I'm excited to share with you today, and it's not a story book. This is a book called Sea Star Wishes. I really love this book, and it's a book of poems. Now, a poem is just a short story or a short little bit of words that either rhyme or they go together in a fun little pattern. So I'm excited to share some of these poems with you today that are about the sea. And you can see on this front cover, we have starfish, some really cool sea creatures, some other fish. On the back here, look at this octopus. Oh, I love that octopus. Octopus is, I think, one of my favorite sea creatures. They are very smart creatures. So here we go. Sea Star Wishes. Poems from the Coast by Eric Ode. And this is illustrated by Eric Brooks. Excuse me. Ooh, this first page. The artwork is very pretty as well. Look, gulls soar, grasses bend, waves roar. They rise and fall and thunder, and all say, look, watch, wonder. Oh, this is a poem about a sea urchin. Wow, big and purple. The sea urchin. Let's search for the sea urchin here in the salty spray, where sunlight shines on his stay-away spines, flashing red and purple in a storm of gray. Let's search for the sea urchin, you and me. We'll find him alone, clinging to a tide pool stone, that thistly, bristly hedgehog of the sea. Ooh, the barnacle. Do you know what barnacles are? Barnacles. I had some sea oysters for dinner the other week, and there was, oh, I hear a fire truck going by. And there was a barnacle on the shell of my oyster, and there's really hard on the outside, but when I poked at it and the shell came off, it's all gooey on the inside. It's pretty interesting. And a lot of times you can find barnacles on the tummies of whales. Well, we won't find them there, but scientists have found them there. And so this is a little poem about barnacles. Startled, the barnacle hunkers to hide until she is only a stony cone-shaped shell, silent and still in the shallow tide. Look at this whale and the ferry boat. Whales are so big. I have a really cool poem about a ferry boat. Back and forth and back and then back and forth and back again. That steely beast, like Jonah's whale, takes his fill, groans and rumbles, lumbers slowly, west to east, across the sound. But that oh so clever creature never stops to turn around, never circles back. Instead, what was his tail becomes his head. You see that on the cruise ship? They have a front on both sides. There's no back to the cruise ship. What is that a picture of? It's a lighthouse. What else do we see here? Oh, a big giant squid and a shark fin and some boats. Lighthouse Bright house, sturdy red and white house. You know what waits beneath the tide. You know where rocks and dangers hide. Find the ships and steer them wide. Lighthouse, bright house, watchman of the night house. Ooh, stunt kites. Maybe you guys have gone to the beach or a park where you've seen kites performing really cool stunts. The stunt kite does not fly. It swoops and loops. It circles and lunges, lurches, dives, climbs and plunges, searches for an escape from the anchor of the beach, pulling as if it were trying to scribble on the sky, but can't quite reach. I love seeing those kites when I go to the beach. Have you guys tried flying kites before? I love flying kites. Sea star wishes. Here are some really cool sea stars and some fish. Do sea stars make wishes on stars of the night and dream that they might be as shiny and bright? But if they make wishes, perhaps it could be that fishes make wishes on stars of the sea. That would be silly. The limpet, look at this, it's a shell. The limpet. How simple the life of the limpet, sitting alone in her dome of a home, tucked out of sight with little to do but sleep and dream and hold on tight. Wrinkles. Oh, the narrow pier. Grandfathers lean against the gray railing and use their fishing lines to play a lazy game of tug of war with the water. While here on the shore, the waves ripple against the sand like a quiet grandmother trying to smooth the last wrinkle from a stubborn bedsheet. See Grandpa fishing on the pier. Ooh, gooey duck. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these on the beach or at the aquarium. The gooey duct. Who's that stuck against the muck beneath the ocean floor? Whose neck is that? It's strong and fat and 3 feet long or more. Who has no nose? Who has no ears? Who lives 150 years? Who gives a squirt, then disappears into the sand, into the muck? Who can it be? The gooey duct. The name gooey duct means to dig deep, and you pronounce it like gooey duck. Isn't that cool? The eel, oh, look at these incredible looking eels. The eel. It's true he looks appalling, but still I have a feeling. Another eel, a mother eel, might find the eel appealing. Oh, Foo. He likes to hang out during circle time, but he has to be quiet, right? And be a good listener. Tofu. So, it's true he looks appalling, but still I have a feeling another eel, a mother eel, might find the eel appealing. Tofu ruined the punchline of that one. The hermit crab. Ooh, maybe some of you have hermit crabs at home for pets, or you've seen them at the pet store. The hermit crab, the hermit crab. He never takes a taxi cab, or sails a ship, or submarine, or rides a motorbike machine. He never skips across the sand, his pointy hands. Oh, but skitters on his pointy hands. And with his home upon his back, he never worries what to pack, or what to drive, or what to wear to get from here to over to there. I love that one. Look at him. He's on a taxi, sailing a boat, in a submarine, on a motorcycle. That is cool. I love this artwork. The octopus, my favorite. How odd to think the octopus has not a bone inside her. The smallest space in any place is just enough to hide her. A corner in a sunken ship, a coffee can, a shell. She tucks her boneless body in, and every arm as well. A very tricky thing to do if you have one or maybe two. But what an awkward sort of state. The octopus has 8. I like that one. See, there's an x-ray. No bones inside, right? You can fit a coffee can or a shell. Oh, the decorator crab. Did you guys know that there is a crab in the ocean that will take little pieces of flour and coral and seaweed and decorate it to make it look nice? I think that's pretty cool. And its name is the decorator crab. So look at this crab. It has collected all kinds of seaweed and sea plants to make it look fancy. Sing a song to celebrate the decorator crab. She adores a finely furnished home, deplores those places plain and drab. And so she gathers bit by bit those things that bring her pleasure, selecting cherished pieces like some secret stolen treasure. A scrap of sponge to set in place, a frond of kelp like leafy lace, a tentacled anemone. She places each where it should be, but as she has no walls or halls, no window sills or shelves, the ever clever decorator decorates herself. Ooh, do you know what that is that lives in the ocean? Jellyfish. The jellyfish. The jellyfish is not a fish and doesn't look the part. He has no snout to nose about. He has no brain or heart. He has no gills. He has no fins. He has no mouth. He has a mouth, but never grins. He has no eyes. He has no scales. He has no splishy, fishy tails. It seems, in fact, he's mostly belly, dressed in tentacles and jelly. I like that. The sea lion. Look at the crown on his head. When you are the lion of the sea, even the sturdy wooden dock, floating stubbornly on the water, must bow down to the massive weight of your majesty. Look at that. The dock is going into the water because he is so dense and heavy. The sea cucumber. I think those look so silly. Here comes the sea cucumber in his slumbery, lumbery with little tube feet too many to number, and little or nothing to say. He's not one to cuddle or snuggle in tight. He's not one to hug or to tickle. But still he may wish you to kiss him goodnight, and my, would that be a pickle. The sand castle. Ooh, that looks like a pretty sand castle. Have you guys built sand castles before? Somewhere in the sand castle, upon a sandy chair, there sits a tiny sandy queen who combs her sandy hair. And somewhere there's a sandy king with sandy velvet collars. He's eating sandy sandwiches and counting his sand dollars. And somewhere there's a sandy prince, handsome, brave, and tall. He dreams he'll meet his sweetheart at the royal sandy ball, with softly soaring music and the flickering of candles, and fine glass slippers on her feet, or maybe she'll wear sandals. I like that sandcastle. That looks very cool. Stories. Who wrote these stories here on the shore? The strange little riddles of who came before. Some stamped and some stippled, some scribbled and scrawled, where someone has waddled or slithered or crawled. A gull and a heron, a crab and a loon, a young muddy puppy, a crafty raccoon. Some weave and some wander, some march in a line, and others like those with their 10 naked toes are mine. Oh, do you see all those footprints in the sand? It looks like there's some duck footprints, and there's some birds, and there's human. The last poem. How soon, says the moon snail from under the sand. How soon till the gull and the loon understand. The sun is on the water and waits for a tune. How soon, says the moonsail, how soon? Not long, says the plover from over the sea. The gull and the loon and the water agree. They'll fly to the sun and they'll bring her a song. Not long, says the plover, not long. Oh, I hope you guys really enjoyed those poems from the sea. All kinds of different animals. Hopefully you learned something new about some sea creatures today. I really love that book, and I wanted to see if maybe my pets needed to have a little goodbye with you right now. If you can see my friend Zoe, she is fast asleep on my lap. I don't know, can you see her? Yeah, she is very exhausted from a very long walk that we just went on, and so she's not wanting to move to get any kind of treats right now. So I think we're just gonna say goodbye and say thank you for coming to our circle time today, and enjoy. I hope you really enjoyed those poems, and I can't wait to see you soon. Go wash your